Good morning, guys. It's Thursday morning. I just want to do the study guide with you. Now, if you are watching this video and you have not done the study guide, stop. Pause the video, shut it off. I want you to go and do the study guide first. There's 10 questions on it, okay? Try as best as you can. You have all your notes you should have been taking from my videos, okay? You can go back and view my videos. Try the study guide. After you're done with the study guide, come to the videos and watch to see if you got it correctly. Okay? That's what you really need to do. So don't just watch the video and do the study guide with it. That's not how we do study guides in class, and that's not how we're going to do it at home. Okay? So if you have not done the study guide first, stop it and go back. Now, the program that I'm using to make these videos, believe it or not, I've been using the document arm from the classroom, and it only lets me upload like a 15-minute video at a time. So I'm going to be watching the time. So these videos for the study guide, it might take me longer than 15 minutes to do it if I'm explaining it. So there might be more than one video today. Okay, but you could just fast forward the parts that you know that you got correct. Okay, so the first question asked me to use a sum or difference identity to find the exact value of the sine of 195. Okay, so they want me to find the sine of 195. 195 is not one of my reference angles. I can't think about my, my unit circle, but I know that I can use, and it did say my identities, my sum and difference formulas. I can make 195 by adding two numbers. What two numbers can I add? Well, I could take 95. And first of all, guys, if it ends in a 5, you know one of the numbers is going to be a 45. How the hell are we going to get the 5 there, right? Okay. 45 plus 150 gives me 195. And then I'm going to use the sum and difference formula, which says the sine of 45 times the cosine of 150 plus the cosine of 45 sine of 150. And then I'm just going to put in the values. The sine of 45 is radical 2 over 2. The cosine of 150, watch your quadrants. Cosine is in quadrant 2, 150, so it's a negative. My reference angle for a 150-degree angle is 30. The cosine of a 30-degree angle is radical 3 over 2. Plus radical 2 over 2. And the sine, all right, I'm in quadrant 2, so it's positive, and the sine of the 30, because that's my reference, is 1/2. When I multiply this, I'm going to have negative radical 6 over 4 plus radical 2 over 4. Okay, I'm going to write it all over one denominator of 4. I'm actually going to flip-flop these. I'm not going to lead with the negative. It doesn't matter. You could leave it. It's not wrong. It's just it looks a little better that way. So that is the answer for question number 1. Okay, let's go on to question number 2. Question number 2, it tells you, use a half angle identity to find the exact value of 157.5. So, number 2, half angle to find the cosine of 157.5. Okay, so 157 is obviously half of something. It's going to use a half angle. So when I double it, I'm going to get 315 divided by 2. Okay, when I use my half angle formulas, okay, and it is what? A cosine. Cosine half angle formulas is this one. Remember the plus and minus. You have to see where this lives. This is in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, cosine is negative. So we're going to use the negative, okay, and it's going to be 1 plus the cosine of 315 over 2. Now we just substitute in the value. Negative the square root of 1 plus 315 is in quadrant 4. Cosine is positive in quadrant 4. It's a reference of 45, so it's radical 2 over 2 divided by 2. All right, we're going to simplify that real quick. Negative the square root 1 becomes 2 over 2 plus radical 2 over 2 divided by 2. This is all just the math here. Negative the square root. This becomes 2 plus radical 2 over 2 all over 2. This is not the situation when they cancel out because this is not a denominator. This is when you have to divide it, which means you're multiplying by the reciprocal, which means it's going to be negative the square root of 2 plus radical 2 over 4. Okay? And then we're just going to simplify it one last time. It's going to be negative the square root of 2 plus radical 2 over 2. So that's the answer for number 2. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 is asking you to find the exact value of the tangent of 50 minus the tangent of 20 plus 1 plus tan 50 tan 20. Okay, now if you notice, this is going to be, let me find it on here. I keep losing where my formulas are. Oh, here. It's the sum and difference formula. It's this expanded. So what we're going to do is bring it back. This said minus. When it's minus in here. So this whole thing simplifies to be just the tangent of 50 minus 20, which is the tangent of 30, which the tangent of 30 is radical 3 over 3. That was it. That's all for number 3. That one was pretty simple. Okay. Number 4 deals with double angles. Sine of double angle, cosine double angle, tangent of double angle. They give you the sine. Okay. They tell you that the sine is 1 over 6 and the interval over pi over 2 to pi. That means it lives in quadrant 2. So we have to worry about that, okay, where it lives. All right, so if it lives in quadrant 2, here's my triangle, here's my theta. Okay, the sine, it's giving me that the sine is 1 over 6. Sine of theta, stick that in, is 1 over 6. So this means that this is opposite over the hypotenuse. I need to find this other side because I'm going to need the cosine of theta. All right, so I'm going to do the Pythagorean theorem here. It's hypotenuse minus the side, so 36, because 6 squared is 36, minus 1 is radical 35, and we can't break that down. So the cosine is going to be, I'm in quadrant 2, so it's negative radical 35 over 6. Okay, so now that I know the sine, I know the cosine, I could find all of my double angles by using the double angle formulas. Double angle formulas are located here on the sheet. So let's do the sine. The sine of the double angle is equal to 2 times the sine of the angle times the cosine of the angle. So 2 times 1 over 6 times negative radical 35 over 6. All right, I can reduce this to 3, so it's going to be negative radical 35 over 18. Done. Okay, now the cosine, cosine of the double angle. Remember, double angle cosine formulas, there's 3 of them. There's 3 of them. Since they gave me the sine, I'm going to use the sine one. So it's going to be 1 minus 2 sine squared. 1 minus 2, our sine was 1/6 squared. So it's going to be 1 minus 2 times 1 over 36, which is going to be 1 minus 1 over 18. When I do that math, I'm going to change this into 18 over 18 minus 1 over 18. And I am going to get 17 over 18 for the cosine. Once I have the sine, once I have the cosine, the tangent of the double angle is so easy because it's sine over cosine. Since they both have the same denominators, they're going to cancel out. So it's going to be negative radical 35 over 17. Done. Okay? Any questions? None? Awesome. Okay. Let's work out all solutions. I wish there was a way I could keep both these here. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Number 5. Number 5, we're going to find all the solutions on the interval. This should have a parentheses there. Okay, the first one gives me cosine double angle equals 3 minus 5 sine x. Okay, we cannot solve that the way that is. We have two different, okay, terms in there. I'm just checking the time. Okay, this will be the last one on this video. This is a double angle. I'm going to replace it with one of my double angle formulas. Cosine has 3 choices for my double angle formulas, okay? Which one am I going to choose? I'm going to choose the one that has sine in it. That's going to make sense. If I change this to a sine function, then they all have the same functions and I can solve. So this is another way of writing a double angle for cosine. So I'm just replacing that, equals 3 minus 5 sine x. Now I have your basic quadratic. I'm going to set it equal to 0. I'm going to factor. I'm going to solve. I'm going to do it quickly too because only like 3 minutes left. This is negative. I don't want my square to be negative, so I'm going to move everything to the right side. So when I move all this to the right, I'm left with 2 sine squared x minus 5. That's a 5. That's a pathetic 5. Sine x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, if you want over on the side, just write it out. Do my little trick to solve it. When you work out my little trick to solve it, the factors are going to be sine x minus 2, 2 sine x minus 1 equals 0. If I set this equal to 0, I'm left with the sine of x equals 2. Does not exist. We know it cannot be greater than 1. Here, sine x is going to be 1/2. Sine is positive in 2 quadrants, here and here. The angle that gives me a sine of a positive 1/2 is pi over 6. And in quadrant 2, it's going to be 5 pi over 6. Okay, I'm going to end this video and start a new video. Okay, so to continue on the next video.